Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. We have a liftoff. Liftoff on Apollo 11.
Shadow. 4 forward, drift into the right a little. 30 seconds forward. Contact light. Okay, engine stop. Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed. Roger, Tranquility. We copy you on the ground. You got a bunch of guys about to turn blue. We're going to be busy for a minute.
Armstrong is on the moon. Neil Armstrong, 38-year-old American, standing on the surface of the moon. On this July 20th, 1969.
That's one small step for man. One giant leap for mankind. Oh, that looks beautiful, Neil. It has a start.
Greetings, my friends. Larry here from Larry's Fountain Pen. Today, I'll be your host on one of the greatest days of America's history. Today is the 50th anniversary of the moon landing. So, what I have here is the Retro 51 Tornado Apollo. Comes in white. It's a limited edition. And it comes in this matching
commemorative
tube with a stainless steel barrel silk screen with rocket graphics. Isn't that right, Mr. Announcer?
Yes.
So, let's open up this tube, but let me first show you the commemorative tube that the Retro 51 came up with the design, which is actually just a stunning tube that they came up with. Make sure we get everything in this picture. Stunning. And then here it says 1969, 50th for the 50th year. So here we go. And there is that spaceship, rocket ship blasting off to the moon. It's too bad that the space program was cut, because I feel today we could be in a lot more places throughout the galaxy. So, let's open the tube up and take a blast to the moon. And it does come with a converter. And it also uses international cartridges. And I'll let Mr. Announcer read what comes with it.
In 1957, the Soviet Union grabbed the attention of the world with the launch of the first artificial satellite, Sputnik, giving rise to a space race with the United States. By repurposing Cold War missiles into space launch vehicles, each side sought to prove its superiority in technology, scientific advancement, and influence. In response to early successes by the Soviets, the United States established the National Aeronautics and Space Administration in 1958, which soon began to progress rapidly with the Mercury, Gemini, and Apollo human spaceflight programs. With the contributions of more than 400,000 Americans, the U.S. was able to take the lead and declare victory in the space race with the landing of the first humans on the moon on July 20th, 1969. 2019 marks the 50th anniversary of the historic Apollo 11 mission, and Retro 51 is proud to present this one-of-a-kind fountain pen to honor the brave men and women who made such an achievement possible and who continue to reach for the stars. A portion of the proceeds will be donated to the Astronaut Scholarship Fund. ASF is a 501c3 nonprofit that was created in 1984 by the Mercury 7 astronauts to encourage university students to pursue scientific excellence and ensure the United States would remain the global leader in science and technology for decades to come. That partnership continues to be carried on by astronauts of subsequent missions and has grown to one of the largest merit-based scholarships of its kind.
Now let's take a good close-up look of the Retro 51 fountain pen. It's an actual stunning fountain pen. And this is a limited edition. Only, I think, over 1,000 pieces or pens were put out. I'm not sure if that's correct, but somewhere in that area. This is a display of the ship that went into space and then later separated from the rocket and then orbited the moon, and then 2 astronauts, correct, landed on the moon and took the first step for mankind. So the astronaut that actually made the first step, the first walk on the moon was
Neil Armstrong.
And it was televised, so it was something to see, something spectacular. Back to the limited edition on how many pieces worldwide. I actually saw where it states that 1,151 pieces worldwide, significant to Apollo 11. And this is the limited edition engraved on the band of the clip. So we're going to look on the band of the clip. The actual number of this pen was 0893. So this is, the number is 893. So I got in just in time, and I was lucky. Just look at the detail on the band up here, getting close to the finial. It has a Retro 51, Tornado, Retro 51 Tornado. Let's go to the very top of the finial to show some of the work. And let me get my eyes out here so I can kind of see what I'm looking at. So here is, the details of the ship all throughout the pen. We can get it. Is that not a great looking piece of history? Now, I was able to purchase this magnificent historical pen from Gold Spot Pens. And I got in just in time, like I said, or I would have missed the ship. The length of this pen, and we'll set it down, cap is 5.38 inches. Posted, it will become 6.2 inches. and it unscrews, and it does post very nicely, securely, and it does fit very well in the hands. So for those who like to post their pens, I have small hands, and this fits okay, but for me, I would need to post it, but that's just me. We all are different, right? The weight of the pen is 34 G's. As you go down the barrel, there is just a slight, very slight step off, one that you really can't even hardly feel because it almost goes nicely fitted into the grip. So the grip is a fairly decent sized grip in my opinion. I have small fingers, so for those who would have to hold the pen here, there would be nothing that would be annoying, sharp. So you could have a really nice writing experience with a bit of history in your hand. Now the nib is a number 6 JoWo steel nib. The nib on the pen that I wanted was a medium nib. But for those who like to try different nibs with this pen, you can do that. At the Goldspot pens, they do have replacement nibs that you can just screw out and screw in. And they come in extra fine, fine, medium, and 1.1, I believe. So, and it says here, to change up your writing experience with the replacement nib, the German-made stainless steel JoWo nib in feed assembly can easily replace your Retro 51 pen nib. Made in 2018 and onward. The number 6 size nib is adaptable to many other brands of the fountain pen as well, including Edison, Franklin Christoph, Diplomat, Montegrappa, and more. What's the point? Being able to change your nibs from a broad to an extra fine makes a great deal when you're finally printing your study notes or meeting agendas in your notebook. All of it's important because, for me, it is highly important because from time to time, I like to change out my nibs to give me a different writing experience, and I just really enjoy trying other different size nibs. And you can find all this on the Goldspot pens. They sell the nibs for $29.95. Not a shabby price. I think it's a fair, decent price. So, what do you think of this fabulous, beautiful, stunning piece of history? It wasn't low end by no means. It was what I would call a high end pen, but well worth the money. So let's go unscrew the barrel. And it does come with 2 cartridges, as you see. Boom. And a converter as well. So let's go ahead and ink this spaceship up. Nice fit. Now, usually, what I would do is, And I recommend this to people if you're having problems with your pen, that it's not writing the way you want, if it's skipping or it's just not putting the ink out that you need it to do. You might want to wash your nib out first. Make sure that there's no oils or nothing from the factory that's embedded inside the nib or the feed, so that way you can get a better flow of ink, but that's up to you. But for now, I will be inking it up with some Mont Blanc James Dean Rebel Red. I thought that would be a great color for this pen. And for those who remember this great historical day, what were you doing? Where were you at? You know, they sent 3 in a ship into space, but only 2 could actually walk on the moon. 1 astronaut had to stay behind to man the ship because they needed somebody to orbit the Earth, and they needed somebody to help dock the ship just in case something happened. So he wasn't as fortunate, but he played a major role in this historical event. And as always, Retro 51, established since 1990, sends a booklet, and it will tell you about the pens and other pens they sell. So you might want to check it out. Again, I purchased this pen from Gold Spot Pens. So now it's time to do some writing. And I will do a quote first. So join me and let's blast off to the moon. In our imagination, let it flow on the day that you saw or heard or both the historical landing of the U.S. on the moon, and that first step of mankind. And today's quote, as always, Mr. Announcer will do the honors.
A man who does not think for himself does not think at all, Oscar Wilde.
And we'll do some writing. How's that one for today? The quick brown fox jumps over the moon. I just had to put that in because today's a special day. And really no problems with ink flow issues at all. And we'll do wetness. How wet is the pen? Looks pretty wet to me. Nice and wet. Reverse writing for those who care to do so. And we're not going to be doing too good on that. So, no, you cannot eyedrop this pen at all. So don't even think about it. That won't work. So here you have it. The Retro 51. The Apollo. $1969. 50 years ago today. Wow. Amazing. Totally amazing. Now that's something to write about in your journal. Wow. Truly amazing. Just think if you were in the astronaut shoes, space shoes, taking that first step on the moon. How would you feel? Wow. What a rush. I mean, what a rush. All right, folks, that's going to wrap it up today. I thank you for taking the time to join me and doing the review on this Retro 51, the Apollo 11 on the space pen. Love it. Hey, for those of you that were able to purchase the pen, let me know how you enjoyed the pen. Be civil, please. For me, it's a thumbs up. I like the pen. So, my friends, take care. And remember, be safe out there. And please don't text and drive. God bless. Peace.